my name is Margie McHugh, and I co-direct MPI's National Center on Immigrant Integration Policy. All of us at MPI are delighted to be able to award one of the 2013 Pluribus Unum prizes to the Neighborhood Development Center, a truly remarkable organization that has promoted community revitalization and economic development in Minnesota and particularly the Minneapolis-St. Paul area for roughly 20 years.
The Neighborhood Development Center model really formed pretty organically in the early 90s in the Twin Cities around the really around the starting point that we had a number of low-income inner-city neighborhoods that were just not progressing at all. There's a total inability to bring in new businesses. There's a lot of vacancies in these neighborhoods, and they were becoming more and more neighborhoods of color. The business and the economy was just lagging in these places, and people are looking for answers for that everywhere except within those neighborhoods. And our approach coming out of community development and the Community Development Corporation field, the neighborhood development field, was very much about looking at every neighborhood and every individual in that neighborhood as having assets and having talents and having skills.
It's based on the theme of building neighborhood economies from within, and we go into those neighborhoods wherever we are invited to existing community development organizations or ethnic-based organizations. And in their own settings, we provide business plan training. This is to write a business plan about their business idea. And then we provide ongoing technical assistance.
So I had worked in neighborhood revitalization in St. Paul since the mid-'80s. And I personally had called thousands of businesses from whether the suburbs or from elsewhere in the city to see if we could talk them into setting up a bike store, or a furniture store, a clothing store, or whatever in one of these inner city neighborhoods, Selby Avenue, Rice Street, Lake Street. And we had very, very few successes. It was an incredible amount of effort, and even when they came into these neighborhoods, it really didn't seem to change the neighborhood. When we saw the survey from some university neighborhood that identified hundreds and hundreds of people, not by name, but just by the fact that they existed, who were entrepreneurial, who lived in the neighborhood, who didn't dislike their neighborhood, who liked where they lived, and who did business underground but wanted to raise their business above ground, that's when our light bulb went off. And we said, why don't we figure out a model of reaching those people with whatever it takes to lift up their entrepreneurial talent above ground, keep it in that neighborhood, and thereby revitalize that neighborhood. So we started as a real place-based effort, recognizing who lived in that place, what their talents were, and what their potential was for changing not only their own lives but the neighborhood around them.
One of the aspects of NDC's work that most impressed our Prizes Advisory Board was the efforts they made to build vibrant and sustained partnerships with a wide range of immigrant and refugee communities. This has allowed them to tailor their programs in areas such as small business lending or business coaching to meet the needs of immigrant entrepreneurs and business owners.
So our model is based on partnerships. Partnerships model where we partner with over 25 organizations throughout the Twin Cities. We do believe that that approach, that model will reduce the barriers, either cultural barriers or language barriers, or the level of anxiety and fear that could be out there.
NDC also has a truly impressive record of success. It has helped over 450 small and medium-sized businesses in Minnesota to prosper, and it is currently incubating roughly 120 small enterprises, most of which are operated by immigrants or refugees.
We have now trained over 4,000 people in that fashion out in dozens of communities in their own language with trainers from their own community to write a business plan. These are 20-week-long classes. Today we have about 500 businesses open, and they're almost entirely located in their own inner city neighborhoods. They're mostly very visible in their own neighborhoods. That was our vision and our dream was to really jumpstart these neighborhoods with their own entrepreneurial talent.
Given how essential it is that our country's immigration policies result in a win-win for both immigrants and refugees and the communities where they settle, it is our great privilege to award an Pluribus Unum Prize to the Neighborhood Development Center. Their efforts provide an outstanding model for unleashing the energy of immigrant and refugee entrepreneurs and small business owners and allowing them to participate in the revitalization of neighborhoods and communities across the United States.
So what this does for us, this prize, is really elevate our eyesight and our understanding of how our work connects to much larger policy debates and movements, issues, how we're part of a much larger group of outstanding organizations and people doing things that are very consistent with what we do.